Hi, y'all. I'm Allison. It's Wednesday, second day of my exams. I'm not too worried about it. It's Apothecary Keeper today. I've already completed the coursework in there. I just have to make sure and get it registered so I can get credit for participating and get my essay done. That's the iffy part. But I have until 6 tonight to do that. So we're not going to worry about that quite yet. Instead, let's focus on the morning. I've got an hour of study hall and then animal studies class, which is in the courts of the sun, and I am way behind on that one. So I don't want to miss any time with that class today. First thing we need to find out, though, is what fate is going to decree for me. So let's go ahead and consult our fate deck and hope that it's going to be kind to me. Come here. Look, he's here. Jack. Jack. Blackjack. Jack-o'-lantern. Or jackass, because he just had an accident. He says good morning and he wants to run. So he's a swift little guy. So, okay. He's wandering off. Let's consult the fate deck and find out what's in store for me. Okay, I hope it's going to be kind. Can't find classroom. Give up and return to dorms. Missed today's class. So I missed my first study hall. I can't go to study hall this morning. But I do have 2 hours in animal studies. So I think this is okay. This isn't too devastating. Thank God I didn't get it earlier, though. That was kind of mean. All right. Well, I am going to toddle off to animal studies, see how far I can get in that class, and then I will check back with y'all and we'll kind of take a look at where everything stands, because I did have a class fall off the schedule as of yesterday. So we need to look at that, discuss that mess. All right. I will see y'all this afternoon. I'm back. I did my 2 hours this morning with animal studies. I was a good little student, sat there and read the whole time, showed up for class, and at the end of it, I had to go talk to the teacher because I couldn't believe what I read. There was a full page of graphic torture of a dog and a revolting sex scene where the woman was, it was just, no. The sex scene was just ew. But the dog, I read a little bit of it, saw where it was going, skimmed to see how far I would have to keep reading to get past that. It was over a full page, graphic. And as I've shown y'all before, these are not small pages. No way in hell am I. No. So I talked to my teacher, went to the library, did some research, and discovered that now that the time traveling has finally happened, it's gone back to the Mayan days, 644, I think, is the year. Anyway, it's apparently going to get more violent, more graphic, and it's really not going to tie into the plot at all. It's going to be like 2 separate books. And to top all of that off, the very last page, and I'm not spoiling this, I'm saving y'all. Whitney, get rid of your book. Because, look, end of book 1. This is a planned trilogy. Part 2 is like 600 pages, I think. Book 3 was never even published. It's... No, I am not reading this. I am dropping this class. I'm 295 pages in. I take it back. I'm not dropping the class. After pleading my case to the teacher, she said that, of course, totally disgusted as I was with the scenario with a dog. I mean, this is animal studies class. And she's like, no. So she's letting me trash this book. It's going. It's getting out of my house. Now, while the professor is sympathetic to my plight, it's not quite that simple. She needs to check with the office, with administration, to make sure that I can switch books this close to exams, because today's Wednesday and my exam is Monday. So we're getting close to the wire, and while she doesn't think that they'll force me to finish this one, she does need to double check, make sure that I can change gears this late in the game. So while she is checking on that, I am going to go have lunch and see if I can calm down, because no. All right. I will see y'all after my lunch. I just spoke with my animal studies professor, and she did go to administration on my behalf to see if I could swap books. And they said, considering my sporadic attendance record, especially in animal studies, that they've got some concerns. They're really wondering if I'm trying to just simplify my workload to have an easier time with my exam that's coming up on Tuesday. They suspect that I'm just not going to be ready for it, and I'm trying to pull a fast one. My teacher was like, no, she has legitimate concerns with this book. And the administration was all, well, if we don't learn from history, then we're doomed to repeat it. And just because you don't like it doesn't mean you can toss it aside. And the professor, thankfully, she dug in her heels and she showed them the scene with torturing that poor dog. And the professor was like, does this look like what we should be teaching them in animal studies? And eventually they had to concede the point that this had gone way too far and they couldn't condone it. So they said they were willing to work out a compromise, that I could forego that book, but I had to read one of the other 3 that I was originally allowed to choose from. And in addition to that, to make it fair for the other students, they were going to add an additional book on to my syllabus. So I'm responsible for reading 2 books in place of In the Courts of the Sun. My teacher accepted on my behalf, and I thanked her for it because it is worth it to me. So now, instead of that book, I don't have to finish that one. Instead, I've been assigned The Empty Grave by Jonathan Stroud. Letters are in yellow, fitting our prompt. And this will actually finish the Lockwood series for me, which makes me a little sad. My teacher also suggested that I take the In the Courts of the Sun and put it in The Empty Grave, which I thought was quite funny for her. And in addition to that, I also need to have a better example on how to treat animals by reading Murder is a Piece of Cake, which is also written in yellow. So I have to read both of these books now. And they place additional conditions on this as well. I have to read both concurrently because they don't want me going to study hall and just blowing through these books really fast in one class session. Specifically, Murder is a Piece of Cake. In fact, they want me to take my time. So I've been restricted. If I have to start reading The Empty Grave first during the study hall, and then the next study hall session that I go to, I have to go to Murder is a Piece of Cake, and then I go back to The Empty Grave. So there is some time for all of the new information to percolate in my little brain and for me to absorb it instead of just reading cover to cover going, okay, that's done. Next, cover to cover and done. So those are my guidelines that I must abide by, and I still have to have these 2 books finished by Monday. Thankfully, I do have a lot of study hall time, so I think I can pull this off. We will see. Speaking of study hall and all of that, I don't think I showed you the new schedule because yesterday in my first class, I dropped off of it, and that was for a bog cataloger because I did have that exam yesterday. So here was my full weekly schedule. If we take off bog cataloger, I lost a little bit of time, nothing too major. But today I had another exam, and that was Apothecary Keeper. That had to be turned in by 6 p.m. and I did it. I registered and did my essay. So everything is good. I made my 6 p.m. deadline, and that class is now officially over. I've achieved 100 in that one, and we need to adjust my weekly calendar once again. This time, I'm losing 5 study hall spots. So that's where this is going to get a little tricky, adding these 2 new books on. We'll have to see if I'm going to have the time before my exam on Monday to finish them both. I don't know, because I still also have to finish Astronomy and Dragon Riding. Now, Dragon Riding is a mandatory class. I have that this evening. That's to be the first class I attend. And then after that, I will have some study hall tonight. If I don't run out of time, because just a little bit ago, it occurred to me, I haven't edited a video for tomorrow. So I got to work on that if y'all are going to have anything to watch. So I better get going and let all this new information sink in. Hopefully I will get to spend some time with Aragon pretty soon and get this video going. And potentially start an animal study class tonight. I don't know. We will see. I will be back, though, to let you know how it all plays out. Bye. I said I'd be back, but I didn't quite say when. And you guessed it. It is Thursday morning. You know what? Before we get into the mess that is going to be today, let's go back to last night, because I was about to go to my dragon riding class. And I also had a study hall that I could use, which I really, really need. Well, once again, my evening got derailed. So I did make it to dragon riding, but not until much later. In fact, I didn't go to that class until 10:30 at night. That's right. That's when I started my evening classes, because I had to babysit the little kitten. Jack needed a supervisor. He cannot be left unattended. My son got called into work and my daughter was out running errands. So I sat for like an hour and a half playing with that kitten. I wore that little puppy, or not puppy, that little kitty out. So it was fun, but yet at the same time, I'm thinking, I've got a video to edit. I've got class to go to. And you can't read when you've got like a 6-week-old kitten that's black and teeny tiny and 50 million places to hide in the room. So yeah, my evening did not go as anticipated. Of course, actually at this point, I should expect that. But I did make it to dragon riding, and it took me an hour and 40 minutes, but I finished Aragon, finished dragon riding. So I just decided to use part of my study hall. I should have had 2.5 hours of reading last night. I did, what did I say, an hour and 40 or something like that. Started at 10:30 and I quit at 12:10. Yeah. So I finished another class. Yay. And I decided after I finished this, I wasn't going to pick up another book and start another class, even though I had time that I could have used. I could have used another, almost hour of study hall. I don't know, math. I would have had like 45. I don't know. There was more time left, because my official class was an hour for this. I needed an hour, and yeah, I would have had like 50 minutes left. Plenty of time to get some more reading done, but I was just brain dead. And I realized I didn't have a video for today to go up for Thursday, and all month I have managed to do both. I've done Orilium, and I've put out a video every other day. So I wasn't going to start that at midnight either. So instead, this morning I got up and immediately started editing. That is being uploaded right now. And I have got a day, because it is, what day is it? It's the 25th. I don't know where my brain made a disconnect. So when I agreed to this deal with the admin to drop that In the Court of the Suns, I was just so desperate to get out of that class. I was willing to say yes to anything, thinking it'll be fine, no problem. Tomorrow's Thursday. I got this. There's plenty of time. I've got lots of study hall. I knew that I was on I would be starting my third day of exams. Third day of the week is Wednesday. It'll work. No. My brain threw in an extra day for me. I thought I was going to have Wednesday somehow, Thursday and Friday, even though I knew it was going to be Thursday. I don't know what happened. And when we look at my exam schedule, and after today's exams, because I have three today, elemental studies, dragon riding, and astronomy, which shouldn't be too scary. The only class I have to finish is astronomy, and I am very close. But when I finish these exams, all of that study hall falls off my schedule, and it's gonna get, I don't know. I don't think this is going to be possible, because I think Monday I'm only going to be left with 1 hour. So that means I have to get 2 books read today and tomorrow, following an alternating schedule, using only study hall that is disappearing so rapidly. I don't know. And I didn't even have a video to put up. So I woke up just kind of like, oh my God. But you know what? We're just going to tunnel vision and take it a step at a time. My video is going up. I did finish dragon riding. I am prepared for that exam. All I got to do is get that registered and do my essay. No problem. Oh, I got to do the essay for elemental studies and get that one registered. But I did finish that book. So here's the schedule for the day. I lost my first morning class because that was Apothecary Keeper. That's gone. And the last late class, that was Bog Cataloger. That's gone. But I have the bulk of the day. There's a lot of time in there. And I'm going to need it. So let's see first what fate. Maybe fate will be nice to me and give me some extra time. I need extra time today. Because I don't know. I know I'm supposed to have an hour and a half this morning for class. I need that to finish City of Lost Souls. I am very close. Very close. So I got to finish this one. And this exam is today. I have until, I think it was 6 p.m. So I have till 6 p.m. tonight for this one. Elemental Studies, I have until noon to get that essay done. And dragon riding, I have till 9 p.m. So I'm not worried about that one. Not worried about this one necessarily. But then, of course, I also have to start my 2 for animal studies. So I need time. And I've lost a lot for working on today's video. I still have to do the thumbnail for that. So for that reason, I don't care what time it is. I don't care if noon hits. I am doing an hour and a half study hall this morning. I think I've earned that. So those teachers can drag me out of the room if they want. I'm chaining myself to that desk. I don't care what time I get there. I am taking my full hour and a half this morning. So there, we will see if it works. But first, let's see if fate's going to intervene, or please be kind to me for once. I'm tempted to put back the ones that I didn't use. You know, I'm doing it. Okay, remember these 2? The study group and the tutoring that was supposed to be over the weekend, and I didn't do last weekend, even though I earned them. I'm putting these back in the deck. So I need to hedge my bets then, because there's stuff in here that could take time away. So, yeah. Desperate times call for desperate measures, right? Okay, I'm afraid. I'm so afraid. Do one more. Okay, ready? Blue. Smooth sailing. Just a normal day with no surprises. Kind of boring, but I will accept it. That's okay. It is very boring. But I'm afraid to pull again. I might lose time. I'm not doing it. Maybe this afternoon, when my panic wears off. Maybe we'll come back and pull a card later in the day. We'll see. Like I said, if my panic goes away. Right now, I'm in full... So, I don't have time to chit-chat. I am going to finish with today's video. In case you're curious, it's 11:15. So, like I said, I'm not cutting myself off at noon for the morning class. That's just how it is. But I bet I can actually finish this book in 45 minutes. I'm very close. All right. I will see y'all once my morning is over, and I'll let you know how it went. Wish me luck. Bye. I did it. I finished my astronomy class, City of Lost Souls, in a stolen morning class because I started this late. I started it at noon, I think it was. Yes, I started at noon and I finished at 1:08. And I am claiming that as morning time because I also got my video up. It was up on time, so there was no delay there. And I did my essay for elemental studies, and I had that done before noon as well. So I don't feel bad for pretending that it was still morning when I went to this class because, it's just gotten ridiculous. And I did what I had to do. So now that elemental studies is completely over, let's pull up my whole schedule, the weekly one, and pull all of those time blocks off of here. All of those study halls are now gone. Oh, I don't know, because next coming off of there will be, I think it's astronomy. Yes, that's the next one I have. I have until 6 o'clock to get that one registered and get my essay done for that. I haven't done it yet, but I do have, no, I don't have notes. Oh man, I don't even have a rough draft on this one. Thankfully, I did on elemental studies, so it was easy to turn in that report, do my review. Again, I am hiding those within the notes on a Storygraph until this video goes up, and then I will make it an official review. So, anyway, okay. My marathon of a day is not anywhere near over, but I feel like I got a lot of the hard part done this morning, and now I am solely, the only class I have left, in fact, is animal studies. But of course, me being me, I had to complicate it. So I will be doing my first study hall for this afternoon. Here we go with this one. And then the next one, I will go to this class, and then I'll go back to this one. And I think that rounds out my day. So at least this one is going to get the 2-hour blocks, and this one will get the 1-hour block, which hopefully will at least give me a chance. I don't know. We'll see. I cannot wait to read this. This is the last one in the Lockwood & Co. So I'm kind of sad too. And I'm hoping I'm going to remember everything. It has been quite a while since I read book 4. But being so deep into the series, I'm sure I'll be able to jump right back in. I remember the highlights. So I'm sure that'll be enough. All right. I am going to go off to City Hall, get my 2 hours in. It is now 2:58. So we're creeping up on I almost said 8 o'clock. Creeping up on 3 o'clock. I got all of my stuff done for the morning. The afternoon. I'm up to speed. So I should be able to devote 2 hours for this. Aside from having to feed the animals and dinner. But we're going to worry about that later. I'm going to go read this. And I will check back with y'all on the flip side. So I don't know how, but I still have a few brain cells. Today is just, it's been a day. I think I've said that every day this week though, but I'm getting close to the end of this marathon, and I don't know if I'm more sad or relieved because it's mentally taxing, but it's so much fun. I love the challenge. All right, let me see if I can figure out where I'm supposed to be to fill y'all in. First of all, I know I did mention that I finished this. Yay. And I got it registered. The review is all ready to go up once this video does. So got 100 in this one. But I think I failed to mention what I ended up thinking of the book in the long run. And I will say that the last reading session that I had greatly improved it because things picked up. Anybody who's read it, as you know, there's a lot of action at the end, which kind of redeemed it a little bit for me, but it's still my least favorite in the series. I can't stand Alec. I've never liked him, and I just, no. I love Simon, though. I think he's the only part of this whole book that I enjoy the whole way through. And I did like the ending, you know, because then things are kind of back where they belong, but I was glad it was over. And I only have one left in this series, so that's a good thing. Okay, so my afternoon, I had all of the study hall, which I really needed. I had the 2 hours. I did it. I went to that full study hall, and I started my new book for animal studies while I'm partly just going, why? Why did I do this to myself? The other part of me is like, yes, because I am loving this book. I love this series, and I'm so happy to be back in it. And this one really hits the ground running at the beginning. There's so much humor in it and action, and I love all of the characters, and so invested in the story. And look how far I got. A quick, fun read. I'm already on page 172. So I don't know, maybe I can actually pull this off. No clue. It will depend on how much time I have for tomorrow, because I don't know. We do have to, well, wait, we'll get so much. So that was my only class for the afternoon. And I had my second exam, which was, where's my calendar? I don't know where anything is. I'm not looking at my class schedule because I don't want to know. I don't want to know how much I have available tomorrow. But okay, elemental studies. I think we already took those off of the calendar, switched all of that to study halls. We'll fill in the rest of my study halls tomorrow because, like I said, I don't want to face it tonight. I want to at least go to bed thinking I have a chance at actually finishing my 2 books for animal studies. And I'm afraid if I look at the schedule, then that's going to squash any hope that I have. But I did do the dragon riding exam as well. I got this one registered and my little reviews all typed up, ready to be published once this video goes out once again. So here's another 100 and another class I need to take completely off of my schedule. And the last one for today was, we already talked about animals, astronomy, that one. Same, 100, and we'll fix the study halls tomorrow. And I mentioned Victoria. I'm sure we did that this morning. That was my 3rd exam for the day. And again, I managed to get it all done. I don't know how, but I did it. So I aced my exams for the day, and I'm going to have 2 tomorrow, which I've finished those classes a while ago, but I haven't done the essays, my reviews on those yet. But I'm not worried about doing that. So I'm in good standing there. Now, as far as the evening, I know I had a 1-hour study hall session, and per the arrangement with the administration, I had to switch books. So I did actually start A Murder is a Piece of Cake. This is part 2 in the Baker Street Mysteries, and it's so much fun. We've got Baby, a 250-pound mastiff, and our main girl, Maddie. She's running a bakery in this small town in Michigan, and there's going to be a competition, and there's a bad guy who gets killed, and she's going to become a suspect, and I am having so much fun with it. Even in an hour, look how far I got. I'm on page 74 already. So I don't know. There's a chance. I have a chance. But highly enjoying it. The only thing with this one is she is a social media influencer. So, and she likes to use hashtags. That part gets a little, I could do without that, but it's not all the time. So it's easy to, I just kind of ignore that. And she's very much into fashion. So I don't know, half the brands that she's talking about is all very high end. And it's okay because she is adorable, and that dog, I love the dog. So I made it. I made it to that study hall. I've got one more study hall left for the day, and that means I have to go back to Lockwood and Co. Twist my arm for 2 more hours. It is already going on 10 o'clock. So I have a shot at doing my 2 hour study hall with this before I turn into a pumpkin at midnight, because I have learned I can't go any farther than that, especially after the day I've had. I've had a very, very full day because I also did grocery store, cooked dinner. I don't know what else it was. Oh, did that whole video this morning, edited the whole night. It's, yeah. So, thankfully, these books are so much fun, and I'm not even aware of time, unlike in the Courts of the Sun. So happy that I did this. Also, just in case y'all are wondering what made me choose to do 2 books. For one, I thought, since that other book was so dense and I had so many pages, it was only fair to get something that would have a considerable amount of page count. And the reason I went ahead and threw this one on there, I don't think I'd addressed this before, but this is on my TBR already from Just Spin It. So I figured this was an opportunity to make sure that I actually got to read it before, all of my Just Spin It books just end up on the Wheel of Shame because I don't get to them this month. So this ensures that I at least get one of them read. So that was kind of my thinking on that. Plus, I love a good challenge. And I didn't want the last couple of days of the Magical Readathon just being me picking up one book and just reading it through with no challenge aspect to it. So I ensured that it would remain a challenge all the way up to the end. Okay, so I am going to go do my 2 hours of study hall. I think I have yammered on long enough. We will update my schedule tomorrow for all the study hall times. I will just see you in the morning. Good morning. I went to class last night and I got the full 2 hours of reading time in. I can't believe it. And look, I made so much progress yesterday. It's just mind-boggling. I can't believe I got this far in this book. It is so good. I love this series. If you've never read Lockwood and Co., you have to read it. Because not only is this the last book for the series, but it wraps up the whole series. It's not just their next case and, I guess, where they just wander off into the twilight or whatever. It encompasses everything that has happened up to this point. It is wrapping it. I'm so invested in this book. In fact, I got so invested in it last night. I had nightmares. And I haven't had nightmares in I don't know how long. But that's what I get for reading up until I think it was 12:15 when I finished. And then I went straight to bed, and my brain was so deep in this world that it stayed there. And yeah, it was a rough night, but it was worth it. Luckily, I'm one of those people that I'm aware when I'm having a nightmare, and I can control it. I can pull myself out of it, wake myself up. But I kept going right back to sleep and right back into it. My brain just would not get out of this world. And it's not that this is overly scary or anything like that. I think I was just so involved in it. My brain's like, no, we're staying here. So it's so action-packed. I love the snarky humor in this. And there's just so many moments where you find yourself laughing, and it's so unexpected. And I love Lockwood and Co. I'm going to be so sad when I finish this, but I can't wait to find out what's going to happen next. So it's the margins and the print and everything. It's really, there's a lot of blank space on the page. So I was surprised that this one is reading as fast as it is. I'm already on page 336. And of course, the fact that I'm so invested, I'm just turning the pages as fast as I can because I want to know what's going to happen next. There's not a single lull in the action or anything. It's just gold. Okay, but it's Friday. So I think this one has probably gone enough. We'll do one more video for my last 2 days at Orilium. I can't believe it's coming to a close. So if you're enjoying it and you want to see what's going to befall me on the last 2 days, then be sure and come back a day after tomorrow to find out the conclusion of Orilium Academy. Okay. I will see y'all, hopefully, day after tomorrow. Have a good one.